Hello and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates, and now we go inside Section 5 Sports with our special guest this week, Athletic Director from Honeywell Falls, Lima, Brian Donohue. Let's talk quick about, first of all, I think it's a testament to the job that all the athletic directors have done in this area. The way that sports has been going relatively uninterrupted through this school year it's really amazing the things that have been put into place to make that happen, and that's kudos to you and your colleagues, I think.
Thanks, Dave. I think behind the scenes, the Department of Health, especially for us, Monroe County, has helped tremendously too. And it certainly is a different year with the protocols. We never had to worry about checking people in or signing people in or making sure people have hand sanitizers or making sure our athletes have screened themselves before they arrive on campus. And as you know, some of them are remote, so they've got to do that before they come on campus. So it's been unique, and it's been a different feel at games. Normally at games, that's your culminating moment where you can relax and see the product on the field. But really, there's so much more at stake right now that it's much more intense than it normally is.
It is kind of weird that like nowadays testing in schools is taken on a whole new meaning than what it used to be. But talk about specifically at HFL how things have been going and how it's been working out between the coaching staff, the kids, the faculty, everything as far as keeping your teams up and running.
So I think one of the things that's going on that we did, I thought, really well right from the beginning is our K through 6 came every day. They still come every day. So they never miss a day. It's regular school for them. We're able to minimize our class size a little bit, spread out a little bit in our buildings. Our 7 through 12, what we decided to do there was to have half the kids come one week and the other half come the other week. And part of that was in case we had a COVID case, we wouldn't be mixing groups. That group that was here would just go home. The next group would come in. So we've had some consistency since September. And I know a lot of schools are announcing now bringing back elementary and coming back full time, but we've been fortunate enough to be able to do that since September. So in terms of faculty, we work very closely with the nurse. We have a liaison with the Department of Health. We have had COVID cases. We've had programs interrupted, but we've been able to minimize that because of the fact that, we have contact with the health department. We have protocols in place. And one of the biggest protocols, obviously, is wearing the mask. And what we learned early on is when we did run into COVID cases, if our kids were masked, we were less likely to be shut down or less likely to be quarantined. So we've been trying to hammer that message home with our kids since day one, and they've been really good about following it. So those things have helped.
Talk about how important it was to get the athletics going again, to kind of have something that felt a little normal for these kids to come back to after the disappointment of last spring, to get things going again. It's just been huge, hasn't it?
It has, and I'll give you a couple examples. I remember last spring, actually two Februarys ago, right when the pandemic was about to hit us. I remember having a conversation with my superintendent, and he looked at me and he said, they're going to probably cancel spring sports. And they go, nah, there's no way they're canceling sports. No way. It's never happens in New York State. Well, we were shut down for a very long time. And to show the evidence of how important sports are to kids, I think one of the things that's happened is we have lots of kids, and I'm sure we're not the only school that this is true for. We have lots of kids that have tried different sports, or when their sport was on pause, tried another sport just to be engaged, just to be active, just to be with their peers. And we've had several athletes do that. So, and then from the parent perspective, our parents have been so relieved that their kids have been able to participate in sports again. It's such an important part, and it goes well beyond the scoreboard. It's not about that. It's about being with their peers, being in a competitive situation, being with them socially. And even though our seasons have been compressed, and maybe we aren't competing for state championships, that social piece that it almost feels normal. It really does, even though it's a different season. You're playing with masks, you're compressed, but it feels normal to be at a basketball game, seeing our kids play, or at a wrestling match, or at a football game. So it's been really important. And I always said too, to be honest with you, the mental health of our kids, we really need to be conscientious of that. And we really had to weigh, and I'm glad the state did what they did, because you have to weigh the isolation versus the disease. And we were getting to a point of over a year here where really I felt our kids were struggling, mental health, could be struggling mental health wise. So,
Brian, thank you so much for taking some time to join us, and best of luck to you and the rest of the Cougars down there at HFL for the upcoming spring season.
Great. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, take care.